Definitely been a little bit since I've been on YouTube, but back for a new video with a whole another little brand. Changed from the market pace to now pace stocks. As you can see, this is the new website, pacestocks.com. Talk about that a little bit more later. But for now, let's get into a couple recap stuff from the last video. Alright, so let's start off with our S&P 500. Last video I had said I took myself out of a leveraged position and got into just the non-leveraged position in the SPY right on May 12th here, towards the bottom. Since then, this was at that was 4,063, and now we are at 4,535. So nice, well over 10% gain, a little closer to 12. Making kind of since the election, being I think I was up 25 in the last video, add another 12 to that, doing around 37% since the election in my index portfolio, with the whole leveraging, hedging, and non-leveraged positions that I've been going over the last several videos from the last year. Definitely another good year. It's so far a good strategy. Just keep your ear to the ground and be leveraged in the indexes when things are really shooting off high. Be hedged when stuff is super unknown and volatile, and everything in between just kind of be non-leveraged in the SPY. It's been working out pretty well so far. Get a few dividends too. Other than that, though, now I think I'll kind of mention my individual positions. Last video I did mention I was in ADA Cardano. That trade happened on May 6th. That I got in at $1.69. So shot up, was good for the first week or so. Then we had a bit of a crash in the whole cryptocurrency market, but we had a nice recovery since then. And now it's floating at about 280. A nice $1.10, $1.20 gain. So that's another 70% gain on my crypto portfolio there. Other than that, now I'll get into the website. So I mentioned in my last video, if you wanted to follow my IPOs and a couple of the individual stocks, you kind of got to be on the social media a little more. So that's actually what I did with my website. So on the site, let me move this. On the site, I'm going to be tracking all of my individual stocks. So you can see them in SciBio, SciBio Pharmaceuticals. This is Pharma there. The MindMed position, Compass, my Coinbase, etc. All these are the new IPOs from the last maybe month. I give you the date I bought them, the price I paid when I bought it, and up to date, well, when I update it, the current profit loss percentage. So last updated August 18th. Definitely need to do that probably after this video or next week. And right below that, you can actually just hit these logos here and actually see their performance on the charts. If you want a little more information, you can even hit their name, and that brings you to a more detailed information page for that stock in particular. You get a little more of the news, what they do, again the chart, etc. You can explore that a little more. So that is the portfolio of my website. Homepage has again the latest video. This is the last video. I'll be replacing this once I post the video I'm making right now. A nice scroller here that can see all the positions as they're happening and trading by the day, up-to-date information on a nice stock ticker, as well as my blog posts. This is kind of where I get into my thinking of why I'm taking the positions. And I'll also get my little Twitter feed, so follow me on Twitter. I got Facebook set up, YouTube, and LinkedIn, so you can always follow me on those. I do want to mention a little bit, though, about the trading blog. If you do want to follow the information on the trading blog and why I'm taking these trades, and a little more of my thinking and I guess financial practices I'm taking for my own financial plan, you can do the trading blog. Now, the thing is, because it is kind of sensitive information about financial planning and financial advice, And I'm not providing financial advice to people out there. I'm just showing what I'm doing for myself and why I'm doing it for myself, and it can keep you up to date with all that. You do need to register and log in. Quick, easy thing, just make up a username, Paystocks, email, then your actual name, and just throw in some password. I'm sure you've all made accounts before, so nothing different. And then agree to the disclaimer that you're agreeing to our trading and information disclaimer, terms of service and privacy policy. Trading disclaimer is right down here. It's typically what you hear me say. That everything on here is just my personal opinion, what I'm doing for myself, why I'm doing it. Not that it's not financial advice for people out there that are watching this, because that requires me to have a thorough understanding of your financial goals, your income, things like that. And again, everyone should have a financial plan put together with a professional for a nice foundation, and then try to improve upon it with learning more knowledge, practices, theories, and experience. But I'm not providing that financial plan foundation for you here. So yeah, just agree to that. Of course, do the recapture, which doesn't take too long typically. Cool, I'm not a robot. And then subscribe. You will receive an email from there. Only takes about 30 seconds, probably a little less. Yeah, once you receive the email, then you're all set. Just verify your address and that you're willing to receive the email and newsletter, and you're all set to go. And then at that point, you'll be able to click on the links in the trading blog and actually read the information on them. So this is my Coinbase article. Oh, I'm not logged in for some reason. Okay. So I explain why I like Coinbase. Last year their revenues was a loss of 30 million. The year after that is a profit of 300 million. If a company lets you invest into someone that's doing that sort of return, you should probably take the chance. That's why I did it. Then I go into a little bit more about what a direct listing is on their IPO, which is a little different than most traditional ones, which I usually avoid. But again, I took the risk anyway. So a little more about the direct listings. And also, I go into somewhat in-depth explanation of what inflation is, how it all works, and how it ties into asset prices, because that also kind of feeds into why I was investing into Coinbase. So it's very relevant here. And definitely a nice thing to know just for economics overall. And yeah, a lot of my posts are like that, so it's what I'm individually trading, and if there's some sort of economic theory I could tie into it, then I do so. Another nice one like that is the Farmer There one. To talk a little bit about compounding, which I think I've definitely mentioned once or twice. Things that compound positively expand exponentially, and as long as you take a percentage of every new risk you take and new position is a percentage of your balance, then even if you have a significant consecutive losses, they lose less and less, and they lose in a logarithmic way, which is approaching zero but never actually hitting it. So that's kind of how you want your investments to go. If you're going to take some hits, you want to have lesser and lesser hits, smaller and smaller, and as you take consecutive gains, you want them to be bigger and bigger and exponential. And I just go into that because it plays into why I invest in IPOs and high risk, high reward stocks like Farmer There and SciBio, etc. So that's kind of what you can look forward to seeing in the trading blog and on my website. And then last, the bonuses on there. Since I've been in financials for a while, I've definitely seen several good offers like credit cards with a good interest rate and good rewards bonuses. This is the Venture card. It's the only travel card I've ever seen that doesn't have a yearly annual fee, so I'd always recommend getting one of those so you can have nice trips and earn miles. TD's my favorite brokerage. Free stock trading. You have great customer service. You can trade stocks, options, futures, and foreign exchanges. I don't have Coinbase's referral on here yet, but I would put them on as well for a crypto trading platform. And then also personal capital here. In personal capital, you can put in all of your brokerage accounts, your savings accounts, your credit cards, your Roth IRAs, your 401ks, and just track all of your investments in one spot and see how they're all doing together instead of looking at 5 different individual accounts and having to log into 5 different individual accounts and put them all together and see where you're at. It's all one place, easy to do. If you give me your contact info and email and name, I can send you a referral to that. We each make $20. Same thing with TD Ameritrade. Give me your name, email. I send you a referral, and we each make $50. So it's a nice little bonus. Credit cards, again, I get a bonus if you sign up, and you can do the extra 20,000 miles, which is about $200 in airline costs. And a nice $200 bonus award for the Chase card. Oh, when I do put Coinbase on here, that's, I believe, a $10 reward for each of us, too. So if you need a cryptocurrency exchange, you still need to sign up for one. There'll be a Coinbase offer on here pretty soon as well. Yeah, so credit cards, accounts, definitely that personal capital one. I think everyone should probably sign up for this. It's extremely useful. And yeah, a couple bonuses on there. So keep me in mind as you do that type of stuff. I do highly recommend these and put my, I guess, stamp of approval on them all. Okay, other than all of that, I wanted to touch on the feeder cattle. This is kind of what I'll finish up the video about. So I was talking about how there is a supply and demand squeeze going on with beef over in May. I think that last video came out around here. So let's just say I bought that around like 150. Let's just call it. I think I bought that personally. Well, would have bought that. Saw this opportunity closer to here. I honestly stayed out of the trade. I just wasn't comfortable enough for doing futures, and I also had no meat products to hedge, because I did mention this as something that you could do as a restaurateur or some sort of beef consumer, business consumer, to hedge possible upcoming rises in your beef costs, which they definitely did rise a lot. So yeah, if you were to do that, you could have done that to offset your hedge, you offset your beef costs. Going forward, though, I'm going to start trading futures a little bit more. So maybe next time I see something like this, I'll actually be involved in it. But anyway, I saw it early May. It definitely did go up pretty well, up to almost 169, almost hit 170 in August, and since then it did drop. Now, in that last video I was saying this is a great opportunity to do during the summer, as now the weekend is here, the Labor Day weekend is here. Summer officially does end, especially for restaurants in the Jersey Shore, vacation area on Labor Day. So this is where I would definitely say the trade should end, right at the end of the trading here, which is about 158, let's call it. So you made about $8 on 150. Nice 5.3% gain. But as I mentioned in the last video, that 5% gain is a lot more than actually a 5% gain. So for me to show you that, I'm going to go into the TD's Thinkorswim platform, go back in time to May 10th, put the trade on, and then go up to here and sell it, and kind of show you what that would have resulted in if you had made that trade by doing a paper trade. So let me switch screens to that. Be right back. Cool. So we got TD Ameritrade pulled up here. This is their on-demand platform, I should probably mention at least once. So you can go back in time and see what the prices were, and then kind of do a paper trade on it. So it's a great way to just example what would have happened if I would have traded this. So here we are, May 10th. Price of the futures cattle is about 150. This being the symbol, the GFU 21. So I'm going to go and trade it. Just do like one contract worth. So the symbol, one contract costs 150, and my option buying power, my total buying power is $100,000. So let's send this through. It's going to cost me $31.90 of buying power, not actual cost. See, the cost of trade is $0. So what this overall means, I'm just going to send it. Means that I need to have about $3,000 of marginable securities and then I could actually trade this without actually paying up anything up front. So if you hold a lot of the SPY like I do in most of my investing, or even a lot of individual stocks that can be margined, you can use that as your collateral to buy futures contracts like the beef one I just bought here. So that brought my buying power down about 3,000. We started at 100,000, so nice and easy to remember. Let's fast forward to September. I would like to do September 3rd, but it doesn't have it yet in the backtesting software. So just imagine this number is a tad bit lower than where it actually is. Okay, so we can see that on September 2nd, it was up 7%. On September 3rd, it's probably more like 6%. But still, the example's pretty close. So here we are, 96, 810. I'm just going to make this create a closing order, confirm, and send it. Boom. And now we're at 105, 410. So by having to margin about $3,000, I had made a profit of $5,410. Again, that would have been a little lower tomorrow in history. So let's call it like maybe 4,500 to be on the low side. Now, again, upfront cost of this was zero. If you had holdings in your portfolio, upfront cost was nothing. All you needed was some securities that you were able to margin. Otherwise, you would have had $3,000 that you'd have to like kind of leave off to the side and not touch for a little bit. So in some ways, you could say there was $3,000 worth of buying power that you had to put aside to make 5,000 almost, which is well over 100% gain. And for the 3 to 4 months of the summer, that could have also offset all of your increased costs with beef, or even made more than, if you depending on how much you ratioed that. Not a bad way to spend some money, or even, like I said, if you had these securities just sitting around doing nothing, being in the SPY, which went up about 10% during this time, you would have made 10% there, plus the 100% on this beef trade. It's one hell of a summer. Let's just say that, one hell of a summer. Like I kind of mentioned, I'm going to start doing these hopefully in the near future if I have enough money, enough marginable securities to do so, because they can get pretty expensive. Those future contracts are sometimes large. Beef cattle is actually one of the smaller ones of them, but things like corn, when you buy a contract of corn, it's like 1,000 or something you're buying. They can get pretty up there. But yeah, so the beef with the markets I had in the last video, that is now over. It did pretty well. And other than that, I'm just staying in my non-leveraged position in the SPY. Things aren't bad right now. They're not really amazing either. Everyone's kind of just waiting to see what inflation does, if it ever starts going crazy and making the Fed try to raise rates and tamper down inflation, or if it stays manageable, then the Fed will stay where it's at and rates will stay pretty low, which will keep the markets going upwards. But it's not safe enough that I'd say you should be leveraged in the stock market, or at least I shouldn't be. And yeah, that's the overall, I guess, state of the markets. I think that's all I got for you all. So yeah, check out the website, sign up online there. If you need any of those bonus referrals, let me know. I can get you hooked up. And until next time, everyone, happy trading, okay?